All right, ladies and gents, we have another play all three in the round one of T90 Titans League. We're also going to do a quick little thing here because chat is blue. The color of the day is not working out for me, so just one moment. But yeah, we have Ravines here. I'll get some commentary in as I do this. And Ravines is an interesting one for this set because it is kind of the in-between. The other maps we're going to see would be Arabia, which is a lot more open, and then we have Arena, which is a lot more closed. And I like Ravines because it's in between. It's a really interesting series, the fact that that's the case, because we have a lot of different maps that might incorporate water and more hills and more openness, whatever. But we get these three maps, so I'm excited. Now, what Viper did, if you're going to use Viper as maybe the words are hard here. If you're going to use Viper as a player, you should base good decisions off of. Viper chose Mongols for this map when he played his first best of three, or not best of three, sorry, play all three. And he used Mongols pretty effectively here. Big reason to do that is because of all the hunt, but you also do have double berries, and then you have your wood all around the little crater. It's a very awkward map to wall up. There's lots of gaps. You know, if you leave a hole in a wall, that can end your day. So you want to make sure you play as safe as possible. And again, even though it is easy to wall, it does not make sense to fully wall, in my opinion. I think you are going to have to make some form of military and combine that with walls. Now, I've seen a lot of feudal age play, but I'm looking at Vinchester's Civ, and he clearly knows that the Mongol player is going to be going for something crazy here, right? Because of all that hunt. Is there a chance Vinchester wants to go fast castle? At first game of T90 Titans League for Vinchester. And Vinchester is, sorry to keep forgetting some stuff here, guys. Vinchester is definitely one of the favorites in his group. He's actually ranked first in his group, at least when we did placements. And I'm thinking about what you do with Ethiopians to gain an edge on Mongols, because Mongols will have all that hunt, and then normally early feudals to play. But is there a chance that if you receive plus 100 food, plus 100 gold, that Vinchester could maybe go for fast castle here? Like, this is what I'm thinking. Okay, so with what Vinchester's base is right now and the way he's building these houses, he could diagonally wall this way towards the TC. He could diagonally wall this way, and he would still have access to gold, still have access to berries. Obviously, not everything, and he would need to really push out. But I think there's a world where Vinchester tries it. Now, is there also a world where I think it could be punished here? Definitely. But I don't know. That's just my thought. What I was saying for SongSong is that SongSong is 6 out of 6 in his group. I think he was like 22nd, maybe 23rd out of 24. So just squeaked into platinum because he had a really good year with tournament results. I think the group stage is actually going to be beneficial for him. What I've seen with SongSong is he'll play really good, and then he'll get up against a really big name in a knockout bracket, and he just kind of, he falls behind, man. It just is clear to me. We saw it in Battle of Africa that there's some extra nerves there for him. So I think it'll help his long term because he just gets more experience playing against the players that he would normally play like once and then get knocked out in like round of 16 or whatever. So I think it's going to be good for him overall, but I also think it's going to be good for him as a whole because it's not, hey, if you lose here, you're going to be knocked out, which is a little bit less pressure. Now, later on, right, like near the tail end, then you start to look at results, and it's like, okay, I needed to get 3 wins here, or I need 2 wins against this player, but for now, that's just not the case. And I don't know. I think it would be beneficial for him. I got really excited about Vinchester going fast castle, and he's not going to do it. He's not going to do it, but he is going to go for some type of archer play, I assume. And he places his 2 lumber camps over here. And then over here, you're going to have 2 lumber camps. So what we saw from both players last time around we saw this map, I think was the only time we saw ravines thus far. What was we saw scouts. Makes sense with all the food. And so SongSong, he's actually got his... Oh my god! Hold on a second. I have to go back. Oh my word. Okay, so first off, it's really hard to run into your opponent's TC on this map because, I mean, unless you're not paying attention. You know, this isn't Lowy the Legends, though. So, like, you see the decline or the dip, right? And you should know, okay, the TC's close. But watch this. Vinchester had his pigs out on the side. And then SongSong gets close. Now, some of you might know this already. But look, he starts to steal them, but the arrows can sometimes hit the pigs. And SongSong was intentionally going back and forth for that reason. So that right there, guys, is 300 food down the drain for Vinchester. That's really bad. That is really bad for him. And actually, this pig could be stolen as well. So, I mean, 300 food down the drain, or I guess like down into the ground there. And I guess you could say that's good fortune from SongSong, and he made the most of scouting that. But honestly, at the same time, Vinchester should never have the pigs out there. He has an outpost, right? It's not like that scout's presence surprised him. So definitely a sloppy move for him, and I think we're going to have to see him transition to berries a little faster than maybe he would want. And then we have that whole conversation of farms, too. So SongSong will probably be happy with that. SongSong, again, trying to scout to see what Vinchester's up to. Oh, you know what else is cool about Ethiopians, guys? Look at how much vision their outposts give. It is a lot more than other outposts. I think it's like twice the vision. Wait a second. This doesn't feel like twice the vision yet. Is that a Castle Age thing, or am I thinking of another Civ? I guess it does look pretty good. I think when Town Watch hits, it'll show like half the map. There's definitely a bonus there for it. I'm not crazy. I think it is Ethiopians. And there's the stable for Vinch. SongSong, he knows that maybe the scouts are going to be coming over, and he's just walling up. It's +2 line of sight? Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice bonus. And it's a bonus that I didn't start factoring into my play until this year. And I have to credit my audience, too, because you guys bring that stuff up. All right, well, 2 weakish scouts here for SongSong, so technically he'll be behind if it's a 2v2 scout war, but it'll be really close. And yeah, 78 HP versus 64. SongSong should run back, and he does. Again, though, SongSong's still working off of pigs right now. Both players actually walling off their forward berries. And, you know, we talked about Arabia, where you could see more aggression than maybe what you'll see in Ravines. We talked about Arena. This is a map where you won't see a ton of damage come in typically in the early stages. Still really interesting from Vinch. Like, this villager is still exposed, but okay, he just lets it go. He just baits SongSong in there. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna notice that. And yeah, Vinchester's gonna be fine now. He's got 4 scouts and full HP scouts, so SongSong has to run away. Talking about what's behind the walls, we have the gold, and then we have this mill area. Over here, you've got the gold a bit more exposed, I guess, for Vinch, but also the mill area. And we were seeing farms for both, and I expect this to go to Castle Age. We did see Mongol Steppe Lancers already in this event. Now, it was Gold League. I'm curious on if we're going to see Steppe Lancers. But I feel like the scout presence is really important. Mongols having the scouting bonus. If this ends up being a situation where both players wall and the scouts can't get damage, keep an eye on all the extra areas in this map, guys. Because if it goes late, you need to have the vision on that. Vinchester has actually created more scouts here. And I don't hate this move. I feel as though having extra scouts is always a good thing. And here he is, and he... this is unique. He says, hey, I'm going to take out your outpost. He expects that he can't do any damage. SongSong making quite a few spearmen. I'm not the biggest fan of that, because I just don't know if he's going to get value from it. Plus, Ethiopians are going to end up switching to archers in most cases, which would counter that, but... Oh, wow, interesting. Okay, so he's actually sneaking out here for more hunt. And he is getting a hit there with the spearmen, but it's just one spearman. Vinchester takes care of the spearmen and will also take care of the outpost. There were Steppe Lancers in the Viper game? Was there? I don't think he made Steppe Lancers in that game. I thought he made knights. No, he made crossbows in that game. But maybe I'm missing it already, even though I just did cast it the other day. That spearman got some damage in there. I'm looking at the resources now. And we've got 12 farms right now, about to be 13 for Vinchester. That's pretty much standard. That's kind of what you want if you're going into archers. We have SongSong only on 8 farms right now. And he's certainly floating more wood. And he's going into a market, which is an interesting choice. And he's just playing as safe as possible. But I do like Vinchester's farming eco a bit more. And I like the fact that he's stacking his scouts and taking out an outpost as well. I mean, for SongSong, you now have to worry a little bit more. Vinchester is the favorite in the group, so this could be seen as exerting dominance, you know? Again, are those spearmen, have they really accomplished much? No, those spearmen were would be seen by most pros as maybe a waste of resources. Oh, that's true. Viper went for Step Lancers later in that game. Thanks for correcting me. Yeah. But I was thinking more so like early Castle Age, I guess, which is why I didn't think about it. Here are the scouts for SongSong. He sees the one range. He doesn't see the other one, and that there's already an archer on the way. And to me, it looks like SongSong, who's going to go in for a Vil. Vinchester pushes it away. To me, it looks as though we're going to see crossbow versus cav archer here. SongSong really wanting to get up to Castle Age and go into cav archer. But when I break down the differences between cav archer and crossbow, it's always about that early timing and early Castle Age. And crossbows tend to have an edge if the numbers are high enough and they're in Castle Age faster. The cav archers will have an edge if you have time. I do like this. I did like this move from SongSong, though. Taking the extra hunt was really sneaky. That's something I didn't see in the other Ravines game from the Mongols player. And double range for him, not producing archers. It's going to be cav archers. And we'll see if Vinchester will be able to sense that. I mean, there's nothing that he really sees that will tell him it's going to be cav archers. But sometimes it's what you don't see. But SongSong might place a bunch of houses behind palisade walls. Because after seeing these archers, SongSong's going to think, ooh, this could be a problem. Like, I think another layer of wall here. Some players would place some houses here just in case. These villagers are going to have to go back in. Actually, no, I think he's going to use this side. And there's this blacksmith now. Very late with that even. I think he's going to build a TC over here, guys. I like that idea. If he can get it, if he can make it happen, I really like that. And Vinchester had the additional scouts, so you would think Vinchester would be able to see that. But for all the good things that Vinchester has done, he hasn't scouted that well. I still think, though, the crossbows are going to get some value here. And for SongSong, I think he's just going to drop town centers wherever he's vulnerable. Hey, T90, always wanted to ask this question. Why do they not use your tip on how to remove straggler trees by cutting and putting palisade walls and deleting it to go in? So that's actually not possible anymore until you build the palisade. The devs changed it. TC for Vinchester on the side. TC for Vinchester on the side. Lots of vision from those Ethiopian outposts. Yeah, you see what SongSong's doing here. He's going to go for the town center. But it is a very defensive approach for him. You know, he's not going to have a lot of control. When we talk about Mongols, we're always talking about the early stages and how Mongols can take advantage of that hunt. But SongSong is going into siege here. And this town center, I mean, this is damage that he's taking because he's been far too greedy. But I have to say, impressive. He still hasn't lost a villager. The TC will actually complete. And he does have siege, so we'll see what damage Vinchester is going to do. We'll be interested to see the execution with the economies here, because Vinchester's not going to get many kills. But if he's able to execute with his economy behind it, he should have the lead. So again, just not a fan. Like, again, when I see SongSong, I see a player who gets nervous against the big players. Taking an archer, but now he cancels. Well, no, he didn't cancel the archer. See archer, and then he's going to make some cav archers. Just some mistakes here or there. Does have the villager lead, though. And when I think of SongSong, I think of a player who's all about commitment. He doesn't necessarily, like Vinchester, he's not able to have the smaller armies with the eco. It's more about boom up towards one thing and make it happen from there. But I've found myself in Vinchester's position many times, and it's frustrating because you do have the army, but you're not able to get damage in. And sure, he's going to try, but if he gets rocked by one shot, suddenly SongSong's position is looking better. And look at this, Vinchester confidently. He does kind of have the hill, but so does SongSong, so it's an interesting one. And look at SongSong's defense here. He actually gets the repairs in to save the mangonel. Doesn't lose a villager. And he only has 16 seconds of TC idle time. You would think that maybe he would have more. But nope. He's been queuing up those villagers nonstop. Meanwhile, we have ballistics for Vinchester, so he's committing even more to the crossbows. I do think Mongols are the better civilization if this goes late. They're more flexible. They have amazing siege, hussars, Mangadai. But early Imperial Age, that death ball from Ethiopians can be really, really tough to stop. Fast arbalest, forward castles, and bomber cannon. Basically, Vinchester is going to set out to try and kill before all those things I mentioned. But still hasn't really been able to get damage in. And for now, I think SongSong's okay. He's even adding a second mangonel because he knows Vinchester, he's going to be comfortable with his micro. But you are playing a dangerous game if you're Vinch. And there you go. He gets hit with a big shot there. And he goes in again, and he gets hit by another shot. So SongSong right now, getting the kills he needs. And I would be shocked if Vinchester, I mean, he's good. Yeah, but he's not that good. Vinchester getting hit. And you know, this is a player in SongSong who has been out, has at least been booming nicely. And it has the ability to take control here. A couple Cav Archers finally show up. Vinchester's going to lose his crossbows. And that's the end of it. And now Vinchester has to think, do I want to make more crossbows? What else can I really do with the Ethiopians? And SongSong says, aha, my time is now. He did get housed a lot here. But he's going to probably counterattack with some CA, and he's going to drop another town center. Yeah, I did. His idle TC time did shoot up as soon as I said it. I was impressed. It was like 15-second TC idle time when he had crossbows from Vinchester, of all people, around his base. Now, I like how Vinchester is seeing this. Vinchester is thinking, well, he's still not doing anything offensive against me. And now I'm going to mix in a couple knights. Because if he ever tries to move out, if SongSong ever tries to move out away from his base with the siege, now the knights are going to contribute against it. It really hurts SongSong to not have those outposts. Look, he tried to build another one and lost the villager. Like, that is a really important area. It's funny to me how that's made such a difference here. But if I were to pick out one thing from SongSong that showed me that this game hasn't gone exactly how he would have planned, it's the fact that he made 2 ranges and hasn't really done much with it. Like, doesn't even have fletching for these Cav Archers, so I can't expect that to really accomplish much. And guys, Vinchester is going to go for precisely what I'd said. This guy, he's going to go for that fast Imperial Age. And he comes right back to the spot where his units had died before. And he kills a villager, and he'll kill another villager. And now that's 5 villagers killed for him in this game. And like we said, this is probably not going to accomplish too much. SongSong dropping a castle here, which Vinchester might notice. And this could be so good or so bad, depending on how things go for either player. Like, this army could get caught out. And yeah, I guess the castle's going to go up. I don't think Vinchester's going to be that bothered. Because Vinchester will be going for big attack round, big attack round, big attack round. Decent. Not great. Needs a Repairville to pop out here if you're SongSong. Castle is up, though. I think in the end, what Vinchester wants is he wants to rush chemistry and get bombard cannons out. So he's just going to focus everything in this area. So expect SongSong to gain the Vill lead. But SongSong is investing into so many more villagers. And he is not going to have, as he will kill a villager here and lose his Cav Archers the same time as Vinch. So yeah, this is very similar to how the crossbow spike can work for the Ethiopians in early castle. This is the next thing Ethiopians could go for. It's definitely a civilization where, at least competitively, you see players delay going to stone. Like, Vinchester knows that it's going to be about bombard cannons before trebs. Whereas with a civ like Mongols, it looks like Vinch lost a Vill out here. Just trying to place some houses around stones, I guess, to block it off. Shoot, what was I saying? Yeah, like Mongols, you know, you're going to want the castle number to rise high. And you want to build up the Mangadai number over time. What does get tricky, though, is that Mangadai have a bonus against siege. So if there's ever trebs or bombard cannons, if SongSong's got the economy to just toss away some units to snipe siege, that wouldn't necessarily be a bad play for him. And I really struggle in situations like Vinchester's, because if it doesn't happen here, this game could be over, right? Like, the next 5 minutes kind of decides it. SongSong's economy is insane right now. If he could just use that wood. Sometimes you'll see players, if they're really stressed after seeing the opponents in imp, sometimes you'll see them actually sell it off and buy food, which I think I would do. But, like, my goodness, if he could put that into farms too, that would be really good. And Vinchester, was moving forward with this army. But not great for SongSong. He's actually reacting here, I believe, to this army. And in doing so, he will lose his Mangadai here. That's also the problem with booming up this much, right? He is imping, but he won't have many Mangadai. And he won't have much in the way of siege. We'll see, though. Maybe Vinchester will have a misplay. There's a lot more army focus and a lot less eco focus if you're Vinch. Vinch hasn't made a farm in the last 3 minutes. It's just production of army, micro, micro, micro. And he and Leary, 2 players who are actually in the same group, are really good with this type of style. And we'll pay attention to these siege workshops because the castles are right here. And the siege for SongSong's actually rolling back. And for all the villagers SongSong has, he does have a lot of idols, and he is losing a lot of these villagers. So, you know, Vinchester's play looking dominant so far. SongSong halfway to the Imperial Age, still with the villager lead. Double castle, making Mangadai. But Mangadai do take so long to mass. Are they better than Arbalest? If you can get the numbers up, they most definitely are. But they're a lot more expensive. They require the castles. And this is where Vinchester's going to win the game, potentially. He's got the bombard cannons on the way now. He might even build a castle in this very spot to stop the Mangadai from getting pickoffs. Interesting. He's actually... I feel like he's going to castle over here. Or over here right now. Yeah, now the pressure starts. And so after everything that's transpired here, SongSong, look at the amount of idols he has, guys. He's got so many idle villagers. He doesn't have much food. He won't actually have the resources to get many upgrades on these skirms. Vinchester already on 2 bomber cannons to pressure these crucial castles. But he does get hit over here. Vinchester, though, sees it. Again, the guy hasn't added a farm in 5 to 10 minutes. It's a very important thing to point out. Like, the approach is wood, gold, arbalest, bombard cannon. And if that doesn't work, you have problems. SongSong actually struggling with some gold control. He's going to go back here to get some gold now. Because he's struggling to get gold to get his upgrades for his skirms right now. Vinchester all over the golds on the map. Vinchester all over the eco for SongSong. And he's actually gained the villager lead. There's a chance we see, what's the unique tech called? Torsen engines? With these resources, I could see Vinchester doing it. He actually has full Arbalest upgrades. So Torsen engines would make a lot of sense if you're worried about the skirms. In theory, though, I think the skirmishers take the Arbs and then the Mangadai help against the siege here. Because the Mangadai have that siege bonus. But, oh, no, not really happening. But SongSong's still trying to buy time. The question is, buy time for what? It's going to be skirm, skirm, skirm for him right now. He's still got all these different groups to deal with. But the most important area is still these castles. Okay, first thing Vinchester does is conscription. So this tells me that Vinchester is comfortable. Because if he wasn't comfortable and he felt he wasn't ahead, he probably would have added the trebuchets there. Mangadai run in. Mangadai, though, not in the highest number. Still, this pressure continues from Vinchester. I'd say 6 bombard cannons is the key number. If you get to 6, that's where you start to snowball this, and it has to be engaged by the enemy. Like, SongSong has to take the fights, otherwise the game's lost soon. And then usually you start taking the fights, and then you lose everything to the bombard cannons. Mongols do not get the final armor upgrade in the skirms. So, just another reason why going skirms with Mongols isn't necessarily the greatest. And SongSong just taps out. Vinchester, very clean play here. I honestly don't think SongSong had a bad game. I think that what he needed was a little bit of security on one of his sides to expand his farming eco, honestly. Like, the key to win the game was the middle, but the fact that Vinchester took both sides was pretty incredible here. Like, with the vill count that SongSong had, and the amount of wood that he had, I really felt like he was going to be able to expand his economy, but he just could not, because he wasn't in a position to fight Arbalest, and Vinchester was all over the sides, constricting SongSong, meaning SongSong had him a lot of idols. It was probably the correct move for SongSong to go into skirmishers, but he just never had the time there, and Vinchester made that look very, very clean. SongSong barely made military, WTF. I wouldn't agree with that, actually. It was how he used the military. He made a lot of siege. He made a lot of skirmishers. It was just he was unable to get in the positions. And also with the 4TC approach and playing into the boom approach, you are delaying military production in most cases, which is a little bit of a risk. But yeah, I mean, like, it wasn't that big of a difference, right? He probably had like 15 Mangadai, maybe 20. He never really had them all together. He had a night or two. He had the siege. Vinchester had 74 ARBs the entire game, so I actually think the military creative was pretty similar. It was just how they used the military. And Vinchester, there's a reason he's #1 in the group, man. His timings is just perfect. A really big win for him there, too, because he countered Mongols on a map with a lot of hunt. When we look at Vinchester, we're looking at a player who's probably top 5 right now, guys. Yeah, I don't think you could dispute the top 5 argument right now for 1v1s. Based on his tournament results anyways, so we'll see where he ends up after the whole group. But certainly a good start. 1 win for him, 40 bucks in the bank. And it doesn't work exactly like that. Can you imagine you win a game? Cha-ching! It just gets transferred. It's a lot more annoying than that, trust me, because I got to deal with all that crap. But anyways, Vinchester looking good as we'll move on to Arabia for game number 2. Alrighty. Going to switch up the colors, but we have game number 2. I know that for anyone out there who has color blindness, color 1 and color 6 conflict, so I'm going to switch Vinchester to yellow. Plus, yellow looks pretty good on these green maps. Vinchester won the first game very comfortably, but what he did, he just made look very easy. Right? Like, it was just so collected, so confident at times as well. And here he is playing as the Mayans. And then we have the Britons over here for SongSong. This map is Arabia. TTL Arabia or TL Arabia, I guess, depending on what you call it. It generally has 3 wood lines per player. You can see the 3 wood lines on your screen here for SongSong. You've got the 3 wood lines for Vinchester. Definitely enough wood here where players are going to be able to wall up. But remember, we saw walling and we saw defense in the previous game, and it was army control that ended up dominating. So I do expect a lot of archers here. T90, no response, and if SongSong used Step Lancers last game, I feel like Mongols struggle versus Archer Civs. Step Lancers would have been a horrible choice. Low Pierce Armor, lower HP than a Knight. I think it would have been a big problem. I think he played it fine, but I think that he needed the boom to work out for him, and he needed to just kill off a couple armies there when he had opportunities from Vinchester to have a better time in Imp. But yeah, I can't say that either Civ is better than the other, honestly. I'm currently looking to see where SongSong's extra pigs are. Oh, they're out here. I think that if you were to ask someone like Viper, someone like Leary, one of the tip-top players, I think they would say that they might even favor Britons in this matchup. It is super close in my opinion. Now, what gets difficult later is if Mayans get into Eagle Warriors, and then Britons would have to switch into Champions or Light Cav. But at the end of the day, if you talk about the strength of Mayans and you talk about the strength of Britons, it's a back-and-forth conversation. Cheaper TCs and extra archer range for Britons on top of the faster working range. You also have the sheep bonus, which leads to faster food income in Dark Age, which is huge. I think army control is going to end up being the difference in this game. And we're going to see this board killed off from SongSong. He's going for 3 houses. Wow, yeah. So he's definitely thinking, let's wall up here. And I think scouting this wood line tells him that he can comfortably wall this way as well. Now, Vinchester's a player who started the 2 militia drush thing, all right? We haven't been seeing it as much on this style of Arabia. We saw it a lot back in King of the Desert. But remember, I think it was, January? Or maybe it was December. Vinchester was 2nd place in King of the Desert, a pure Arabia tournament. 2nd place to the Viper. And he was the one who started the 2 militia drush, all right? And there are some people who now are like, 2 militia drush is bad or whatever. He beat those players, all right? With the 2 militia drush, he started it. And I was wondering if he was going to try it here. Because I do think that the King of the Desert map generation is quite different and played its role in why that was strong. You can see they're kind of close together. They're in a position I don't think either player will expect. Vinchester looking down here now. And he's probably like, whoa, what's going on? Britons win in early and Mayans in late game. I mean, Mayans can't do anything in late game against Britons if they don't have gold, right? I think it's trickier than that, right? Not being able to spam light cav is actually a weakness of Mayans if it goes super late. But I would say early imp Britons, mid imp Mayans, and then super post imp Britons. It's again really complicated, and we'll see if we get there. I think with this type of a map, I think map generation, sorry, not map generation. I think with this map, control over the game is going to be key. And guys, oh man, SongSong, he's playing so greedy right now. He's playing so greedy for fast archers. And he's up against Vinch, the guy who started this drush. And let's see if he can get a kill here, Vinchester. SongSong does have Loom, and SongSong quickly walls. Actually, very well played there from SongSong. He pulls the villagers back, probably to straggler trees. But SongSong, I mean, he does not have enough on wood right now to pull off whatever he's trying to go for here. And I think the reason Vinchester likes this is because it disrupts the opponent's build order. And then he just clicks up right behind it. This is actually pretty insane. Look at this build. Meanwhile, his 4 villagers are on wood. He can do whatever he wants. And now he's even going to camp the gold as if to say, hey, are you going to send archers to me? What's your plan? Vinchester's just got so much control right now. He'll know if his opponent doesn't take gold that it's likely going to be scouts. And I'm sure he'll be happy to see 2 villagers on a lumber camp, which is never what you need. And then these villagers have to repair the lumber camp as well. Yeah, Mayans do have the silly skirms, but I have not seen a game where that has made a difference ever since that was introduced. Like, you remember the only game I can think where the Mayan silly skirms became a big talking point was, I think it was Jordan versus Yo, Hidden Cup 4 semis. And even then, the Mayan skirms lost. So, I mean, you guys are correct on paper. In terms of applicable bonuses, I don't know if that's as huge a thing. But watch me just, you know, jinx that into reality here. But that's literally the only game in like a year where I've seen that be a difference in this matchup. But yeah, you guys are correct. Spot on. Obviously, a relevant bonus could be helpful against a good archer civ. Wow, man. Vinchester's so good. This timing is insane. 10 minutes and 8 seconds, he's in feudal. He added 2 more militia, so now he's getting man-at-arms. And he's adding a range. And he's adding a spearman. And he's got his wood upgrade. This guy's build orders are just ridiculous, man. And SongSong's just been trying to deal with it every step of the way here. He's forced to add a range now. Like, you need to have some type of range stuff out here. And now look at this. Vinchester sees it, and SongSong even going for stone walls. Like, I understand that you're looking at SongSong's play, and you're like, wow, this guy's getting bested right now. Maybe he isn't as good to be Vinchester. I know people want to talk about SongSong, but I want to talk about Vinchester. Like, oh my god. This amount of pressure from Dark Age into early feudal and the economy he's got behind this is just ridiculous. It is just ridiculous what he's pulling off here. Knows that the scouts will be out to potentially snipe a spearman. So he has the spearman with his archer. SongSong is waiting for that, by the way. He's waiting for an archer to run out. So he doesn't see that. And now, I mean, SongSong's just completely overwhelmed. He's dropped a tower now. Just so he can, like, save his archer range. Because he's worried he's going to lose his range. He's dropping a gate. SongSong doesn't know what to do against this. And now Vinchester dives. Because he knows those are all the villagers that could hop in the TC. Which is also super intelligent. We'll see how many losses he takes. In the end, maybe it's not worth it. But, wow, man. I mean, am I a Vinchester fanboy or what? Now, guys, I'm so happy about Vinchester's play because I was saying that Vinchester could be this type of player and this level of player back in 2015, right? And then, like, 2017, 2018, he was getting close, and he kept making silly mistakes. And then the last year or two, he really has perfected his game. This guy's been around a long time. I remember casting him when he was, like, 17, I think. A good control from him overall for SongSong. You know, not the game you would want. We did look at this area earlier and say that this would be an area he would wall. It's kind of funny because Vinchester thinks it's fully walled already. He doesn't see that the villager's there. And that could be helpful for SongSong. And, well, Man-at-Arms still holding their own, but they are slowly going down. And in the end, I guess Vinchester might not even run in here with these units. We'll see. It is Vinch after all, so he's going to apply pressure. Oh, man, but just look at the economy. Like, look at the farming eco for Vinch. 2 lumber camps working so efficiently. Already has fletching, by the way, which is a big reason I think he's moved in here, because fletching is not in yet for SongSong. And Vinchester sees these villagers are trapped, so he says, all right, you'll eventually kill me, but not before I kill villagers. And he snipes a villager there. Apparently, Vinchester lost a villager, and I missed it, by the way. So there we go. Another villager down. Another villager down. So that's 3 total that have gone down here. The scouts have just had no choice but to come home. And maybe now Vinchester will lose his army. Vinchester is floating a lot of wood. Does have a lot of archers in his range, though. Slowly working his way towards some walls. Here he gets all the scouts killed off. And unfortunately for him, he's unable to run away. So these skirms are going to be here. Now, in some cases, you might argue that you could switch into eagles in Vinchester's position because SongSong has a lot of skirms. But I actually really like continuing with archers just because of how much eco damage you've done. You wouldn't really be able to get to Castle Age too quickly after a game like this if you're SongSong. Ah, really? Those were new scouts from SongSong. Okay, good catch there, Raphael. Well, if that's the case, right? You've made skirmishers, which cost a lot of food. You made scouts, which cost a lot of food. Your eco was all over the place. And so for Vinch, I don't think he needs to worry about skirmishers if he can just get a strong Castle Age time. But we'll see if SongSong can make some damage happen. Normally, in these types of positions, you're going to see players use the market. Because they know their eco's out of whack. And they know that none of this looked good. And so typically you see a market. You could also always see stone walls as well, right? Like going to stone, maybe to recoup the cost of the stone for this tower. Maybe he wants to stonewall his base and just survive for a long time here. The reason there is a 6 next to Vinchester, by the way, is just because he picked color 6. This uptime is insane, though. I can't get over how flawless his Dark Age has been here. And he is adding a barracks now. Just going to make an outpost out here. Look at the confidence. He knows. He's like, I don't need to wall. Wow, man. This is... I'm so jealous. I'm not even... I mean, I am impressed. But the emotions that I'm feeling is pure jealousy right now. Just the timing on everything was so clean. This is like an inhuman start. Good move from SongSong to stay at home at this point. You have to know, Vinchester knows that you're going to be committing fully to skirmishers. You don't want to move out into eagles. Or even into strong archer numbers because you don't have upgrades. So, all right. What's up, LC Driver? Glad you could make it, even though I know you've been here for years. Haha, funny, funny. Market will be up for SongSong, and he's doing what he can here, right? He'll probably buy some food. And he's stonewalling the sides. I like the fight. I like the recognition that he's going to be behind. Worst case for him, I actually think the range is going to be the weakest point. And the range and the houses, but it is something. But yeah, worst case for him, I think he could just move his villagers on the wood line back to this wood line. And we'll see what Vinchester's approach is. The problem is, Vinchester doesn't have to go all in here. And Vinchester has 3 barracks producing eagles. And eagles start to produce a lot faster once you make it to Castle Age. Yo, Kyle, thank you very much for the gifted subs, man. Vinch forgot a horse collar, though. Yeah, you never get horse collar with that build order, Felipe. Everything Vinchester has done is completely standard. Like, it is as good as possible. From the 2 militia into the 2 additional militia, man-at-arm wood upgrade timing, the archers and fletching. It's so at the limit that I was already impressed with what he did. You never get horse collar off that type of build. Not at that time. If you're, like, much later, you're, like, minute and a half later, you're probably floating some more resources. But... everything he's done has been perfect so far. Even going for arson. And again, I think the archer range is actually going to be the weakest point here. It's obviously something you think you would need in the long term. Let's see if Vinchester realized, though. Because I think Vinchester right now, he knows these stone walls are here from earlier. So he doesn't know this is stonewalled. Looking, now he sees this. And now I think, okay, maybe he realizes he can go for the palisade in the house. Yeah, and SongSong obviously realizes this is a problem, so he starts to place another house. But he is going to fall back. Cheap Britain town centers. I think the villagers over here could have a problem, but I think he could complete this town center, and he could be safe. But the reality is, guys, Vinchester's going to have full control. There's honestly not a lot SongSong can do except hope Vinchester doesn't kill him and try and add the town centers. I can't be critical of anything SongSong has done over the last couple minutes because this is all definitely the play. Like, even here, he's worried about the eagles diving. So he... Oh, there was a hole! No! Oh, I didn't see that either. Just Vinchester things, man. He's going to get control with these Eagles, but SongSong adding even TC number 3. Some nice house walls. There we go. Our farm and eco upgrades generally not worth. I usually grab them. People say they can be a noob trap at times. If you don't have a proper build order down that tells you when you should get them, I think you should just get them. They're fine. Yeah, with everything Vinchester did and the timing of it, his eco was kind of at the limit, right? With the build order he's gone for, you just skip horse color. But you almost always are getting them on other build orders. I'd say you don't need to be too particular about it until you're about like maybe 13 or 1400, because at that point is where the level's high enough where the timing matters a bit more. Otherwise, just get it for sure. SongSong's vill count, not bad, though. It does need to save these villagers. And, of course, just like the previous game, has had a lot of idle time. Will only lose 1 here, though. And then he has the 2 knights, so the 2 knights should deal with the eagles. Vinchester just continues to apply pressure, though. And I really like that arson choice. Because the arson choice has meant that the eagles are breaking through these houses a whole lot faster. And the thing is, guys, Vinchester's economy is still really good behind this. He's on 2 TCs. And he just continues to make crossbows and eagles. His barracks are always producing. His archer ranges are always producing. And poor SongSong, man. I mean, he's just been on the back foot ever since the 8th minute. I think he was a little greedy, but what would you do? If you were a player who felt like you were going to be outmatched, would you try and play, you know, 100% standard? Or would you play a little greedy? Sometimes you feel like you need something greedy to make the difference to be able to beat a certain player. And I think that that's what happened to SongSong, and Vinchester just completely capitalized on that. That's actually the way I see it as well. So, like, if I'm playing a player who's weaker than me, I'm always going to go for, like, this little surprise 2 militia drush, because it gets some early control against a player who's probably not scouting properly. Will respect opponents who are higher and might not do that as much. But, man, this is... The castle can't be built. I feel like it should be illegal to watch the destruction we're watching right now. This is disgusting, man. But again, like, SongSong has done nothing wrong over the last 5 to 10 minutes. He was just put so far behind by Vinch. Now, let's see what Vinch's micro is going to be like here, as SongSong does have another mangonel. Now, SongSong wants a castle right now. And Vinchester, look, he sees the siege. He says, that's cute. That's funny. Okay, good attack ground there, buddy. I'll take that as well. That's kind of supposed to counter you, guys. The siege is supposed to counter you. The Rams are coming in. The Eagles are coming in. Yikes. I mean, I know the KD says 27 to 26, but that was all Vinchester. But again, that is honestly one of the cleanest, most ridiculous builds I have seen in a long time on early Arabia. From the 6th minute to the 11th minute, kind of won him the game. That was disgusting. But for SongSong, you know, the 2 militia drush thing, it is a fairly standard thing to try and scout, especially against Vinch, because I was talking about how Vinchester started that whole trend. So, you know, you probably should scout. I understand why he didn't. He wanted to go up to Feudal Age really fast to gain an edge, but the build definitely took a hold of him there. And Vinchester up 2-0, looking like the favorite to maybe get the next win, but you never know. It's going to be Arena. So Vinchester won't be able to go for the same type of strategy. All right, here it is, game number 3. And so far, it hasn't looked very good for SongSong. But I think an important perspective for SongSong needs to be, if I get 1 win here, that's amazing for me. SongSong is 6th in the group per our, you know, how we ranked everything. So he is seen as the biggest underdog. The bottom, the bottom 2 in each group at the conclusion of the group stage are relegated out and would have to go in the Gold League for next season. His goal, probably, is to stay alive in Platinum, right? And so if he's up against the best player in his group, he can't expect to really get a 3-0. Maybe he can't even expect to get a 2-1. But if he can get 1 win, I think he'll end up being much happier about things here. Vinchester playing as the Burgundians here in the yellow, and then we've got SongSong playing as the Bohemians. And the Bohemians were nerfed. They used to have the very cheap monasteries, but I honestly still think Bohemians are one of the best arena civilizations. I would say the exact same about the Burgundians, though, so we'll see. Good news for SongSong is, in T90 Titans League Arena, the stone walls have 1800 HP. And if you were to play ranked arena right now, the stone walls have 900 HP, because the way the game works is feudal age stone walls have 900 HP, and then when you hit castle age, it goes up to 1800 HP. That hasn't always been the case. Many years ago, it was always 1800 HP in feudal age. There's been many wall changes over the years to kind of nerf walling a little bit more. But we wanted to make it the pure arena player experience. Vinchester had also created a build order where you could attack those 900 HP walls and go for tower rushes and things like that. So we want to actually see that on the cards here for Vinchester. But are you noticing a theme, guys? And I promise, like, listen, you're hearing a lot of good things about Vinchester. I give credit where credit is due, okay? This guy is an innovator. He's an innovator. And actually, as I say that, I've seen him do this before. I remember 2015, Masters of Arena. 7 years ago, he did this crap. And I remember being so annoyed with it. And I'll talk about why. But he actually just used the scout to bring in the boar. Yeah, I've paid a lot of attention to Vinchester over the years. The idea behind doing this is so your economy is always working and you don't have to send a villager to go get a boar. I don't like this though, because then in the scout war, your scout's going to be weaker. So I personally disagree with this, but I think in theory what he'll do, if he's adding a monastery, he'll just heal up the scout a little bit later on. Hey T90, did you know camels do bonus damage versus other camels? Yes, I did. Thank you. I know exactly why you asked that too. Because I had asked that question recently because of a matchup I played in. Yeah, Vinchester just waited. He's going to weaken the boar with the TC now. He's going to finish it off with the villagers. Not bad. And yeah, so I mean, his villagers have been as efficient as possible. And that's really what it comes down to with the Burgundians anyways, right? The lumber camp upgrade was already researched, so feudal age wood upgrade in for Vinch in Dark Age. And then we have the farm upgrade in as well before he even makes his first farm. So I think Burgundians and Bohemians are top 5 on Arena. I would have to ask a clown. I'd have to ask an Arena player about it. But Burgundians are certainly top 5. Bohemians have to be top 5. You then might have a civilization like Teutons. You could maybe say, I don't know if Poles would be top 5. What else would be in there? And maybe Aztecs would still be in there. I know they've fallen off a little bit, but with how close quarters the players can be at times in these generations, I could see that. SongSong will obviously win any scout fight, but he might not click that scout to notice that it's actually half HP. Again, what annoyed me in the past, and it still left a mark, again, it was 6 or 7 years ago, but when I saw that Vinchester did this back then, and then he lost his scout in the scout war, I was really annoyed. And if it happens again here, I'm also going to be annoyed, because it's like pretty unnecessary. And I think SongSong knows now. I think SongSong checked. Yeah, look at it. He knows. And Vinchester can't fight, so Vinchester has to come home. There's a chance SongSong makes it in. We have Britons, I think, are still top tier. Malay and Turks. Yeah, I agree with you guys. And actually Gurjaras. But Gurjaras are so strong on any map right now. It wouldn't surprise me if we see Gurjaras have one of the highest win rates near the end. But here we go. Let's see if SongSong keeps the gate open. Sit underneath it. Oh, what? I think he tried, but yeah, Vinchester makes it home. So in the end, Vinchester isn't punished for that. Yeah, so now it doesn't look too bad, right? Vinch vs. Tato series would be so much fun. Well, I think it's likely that could happen, right? I think you could argue both players are probably going to make it to... I mean, both players are definitely going to progress out of their group, right? I don't think they're going to be relegated. I don't think they're going to be in 4th place, which means you don't play in any type of playoffs or bracket after the group stage is over. So, I mean, the chances are that could happen. I'll be excited to see it. It is still very early, but I've been pleasantly surprised with the variety of civilizations we've seen on some of the maps. Whether it be Cross or Jungle Swamp or Arena or Fortified Clearing, and I could go down the list of maps. Players have definitely preferred different civilizations, particularly with the maps that aren't like Arabia. Because Arabia, we have seen some of the expected choices, which makes sense. Bohemians used to have the cheaper monasteries, but I still think going for heavy monk play could work with them. And I'm guessing that SongSong is going to go Spearman Monk Siege from what I'm seeing so far. He's gone up a little bit faster here than Vinch. Vinchester obviously has the greater economy. Vinchester's economy is most likely going to be geared around booming and making scouts. So the meta with Burgundians would be to make scouts, make a lot of light cav, get all the relics, and boom. Whereas with Bohemians, yeah, especially because the players are so close, I could see him parking his monasteries right here, siege workshop, and just look at the stone and gold. What's the mining camp for Vinchester? Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that either. But I guess, I mean, I've seen worse, right? But there will be a lot of bumping because there's not a gap there. Vinchester would probably have some type of explanation for it. I would never place that mining camp, though. So there's the stable. There's the blacksmith for Vinchester. Again, a quick and easy 2-0 for him. I say easy. He made it all look really easy. The guy's just so good right now. And there we have SongSong. And SongSong didn't sell any of his stone to do this either. But Burgundians are nuts, man. Because now Vinchester could be getting the wood upgrade and the farm upgrade for Castle Age. And he's already doing that. And for SongSong to achieve this, he doesn't have any eco upgrades yet. But Bohemian Spearmen do additional bonus damage. So I think that adding a few Spearmen and running forward with monasteries would be a good approach. I just don't know if that's a SongSong thing. Like, remember, this is Vinchester's home map. Also, mods. Mods. If you could help me out there, it'd be great. That'd be awesome. Thank you. Yeah, Siege Monk push, I think, could come back. And, oh, I didn't see the stable there. I'm blind. Okay, we're going to see some scouts as well. Now, what I do as a guy who likes a lot of land maps, okay? A guy who likes a lot of land maps, similar to SongSong. If I play Arena, I kind of, and I recognize this is a fault of mine, all right? I'm trying to change it. I just say, okay, we're going to go Scout, Spearman, get the relics, and boom. That's what I do. I don't really try to go for the Monk Siege push, so I'm saying this, and I also should recognize that maybe that's not the type of play we're going to see from Vinch. Vinchester's weak scout is still at home, so he is going to heal that up, excuse me. Okay. I think SongSong's looking for that scout. But SongSong should know, as he has to kill the Jaguar there, he should have an idea of what's going to happen. Now, old Bohemians, they would go for, like, triple monasteries right away because they were so cheap. I still can't believe the devs thought that was a good idea. But we're not going to see that here. And scouts engaging, and it should be very close, but stable upgrades are cheaper for the... Ooh, good fight here for SongSong. Stable upgrades are discounted for Vinch, plus Vinch has the greater economy, so Vinchester able to get light cap pretty easily. And he's going to send the monk out to first heal. We'll see if a second town center goes up for SongSong. He is going to do it way back here. Maybe I'm being nitpicky. That's a long way to walk for a TC. I'm not a big fan of that. Vinchester not walking far. But it is what it is, right? Vinchester has his only full HP scout out here looking for monks. And he's waiting. The monk is going to come out of there. And he's waiting for it. And he even looped back, right? Now he sees the flag, so he knows. And he has to be careful not to get himself trapped in here, but he seems okay. Here comes another light cav. Meanwhile, these are healing. And I think it would make sense for SongSong to try and snag these, because light cav, even though they're spearmen, light cav should be able to take out the spearmen. Still, spearmen are super low HP. Vinchester, let's see, going in. SongSong trying to block. Good positioning for the spearmen as well. Loses the monk. And this is what I mean. Oh, my goodness, Vinchester. What a beast with that micro. Pulls the weak one away. Snipes 2 monks there. That's so good from him. We do have 1 relic for SongSong, though. Excuse me. As we have another TC now for SongSong. This has just become one of those games where it's a relic war. But I do not think this is going to be good for SongSong as he loses a spearman. And so far, so good for Vinchester. We do have Fervor, though. Fervor makes monks faster, but with the Bohemians also makes the villagers faster, so that's good for SongSong. Yeah, no, I have to disagree with the approach. I really think in this matchup, the way you push Bohemians is by doing something different from Bohemians. You do not go for competing for relics in the same way. I think double Monastery, Siege, Pike, I think really putting them under pressure, especially when you're this close, is ideally the play. And Vinchester snipes another monk, man. He's everywhere. He's also booming. But he's making this so difficult for SongSong. Now, there's 5 relics on the map in Arena, right? So the best case scenario, if everyone gets relics, is a 3-2, right? That's as even as it gets. Vinchester wants this to be a 4-1. He wants to have 4 relics. He does not want SongSong to get this one. SongSong sending Spearman over there now. Pretty impressed with the Vil count for SongSong, all things considered, because he doesn't have that economy that Vinchester has. But Vinchester's food economy is looking so much stronger right now. But he did get housed pretty badly, and this can really hurt. Look, this TC, all the TCs and the stable and the monastery cannot produce right now. Here he is, and again, he says, I don't care about your bonus damage, because Spearmen are Spearmen, and Spearmen die to Light Cav in a 1v1 battle. So, right now, it's still Vinchester as he's going to head over here. He's got 2 relics. There's 2 more on the field, but nope, never mind. 1 more. And SongSong gets this one. So, overall, that's pretty good. Now, I think the next key is early Imperial Age. Think back to what Vinchester did in Game 1. That was another Civ matchup where one Civ can push an early Imp, the other Civ needs more economy, right? So, if I'm Vinchester, I'm scared of early Bombard Cannon push combined with Halberdier. That's what I'm scared of. There is a crazy world where Vinchester, if he's far enough ahead to Imp, could actually go for his own hand cannons of gunpowder. Because Bohemians actually, or Burgundians, excuse me, the names are similar. Burgundians, what is it? They do like more bonus damage? Or no, I think they just do 25% more damage. It's not bonus damage, which is an important distinction. Because hand cannons don't have a bonus against hand cannons. But if it's 25% more damage, you could actually win the gunpowder war against Bohemians. Obviously, you're going to have some big problems if the cannons come out for Bohemians, because they're the only civ that gets the Hoofnitsa cannons, but it does feel like Vinchester's going to drop a castle and try and get it to Imp fast here. His food is just climbing. The fact he's making more Light Cav makes me think he might actually drop the castle forward, though, guys. Because why would he make more Light Cav at this stage? Maybe just autopilot? Okay, he sees the monks. What if he were to drop a castle right here? Obviously, closing it on Imp. He doesn't actually have... No, I lied. Never mind. He's got the university, also got the monastery. Also, Edward, this game is a PC game. I think technically you could play it on console, but I wouldn't recommend it. I don't think... There's like some cheap mobile knockoffs that I also wouldn't recommend, but this is a computer game. Welcome. Okay, university. Okay, so SongSong thinking about Imp. Here comes Vinchester forward to drop the castle. Now, for Vinchester, he has to arrive in the Imperial Age. Then he has to research chemistry. I think the chemistry timing here is the biggest thing. And I think he's only getting upgrades just so he can hold map control here. Let's see if SongSong notices this. He should.
Yes.
Okay, there was a pause. There's nothing SongSong can really do about this castle. What SongSong should do is SongSong should get up to Imp as quickly as possible here. And there he goes. Okay, now, I think the chemistry timing... Or let me rephrase that. I think the time at which they can make Bombard Cannons is going to be pretty much the same here. Assuming SongSong were to research chemistry before he's in Imp. Because it's about 90 it's like 90 seconds for chemistry, I think. And Vinchester has a 90-second lead on the way to the Imperial Age. I'm trying to do the math in my head right now. But yeah, I mean, he could also steal these relics as well. He's definitely going to go gunpowder here. You can't actually convert enemy monasteries, Seb. So you would have to destroy them. But obviously the castle could do that. Aggressive play from Vinchester. But yeah, I'm wondering if I'm going to be correct on this. So let's pay attention to the countdown on Imp. Because chemistry will be in before Imp, right? So technically, he could make bomber cannons instantly. And then the countdown on chemistry here. Click chemistry, Vinch. Come on, you're ruining my timing, man. Come on. Ah, it would have been so much closer. You see what I mean? So I guess SongSong will have a 20 to 25 second lead to the bombard cannons, which I think is the key right now. Now, I wouldn't be too concerned about the relics here if I'm SongSong. I mean, some players would try their best to move them to the back of their base, which I think you could make an argument for. What I would be worried about here is I'd be worried about getting archer ranges up. Because right now, oh, he can't see it. Sometimes you can see when a tower or a building attacks you, you can see a radius around it. He doesn't actually know Vinch is going to do this. He just sees the cav and is prepping pikemen for the cav, which is not a bad play based on what he sees. But Vinchester's pressure, he's one step ahead here, is not going to be about the cav here. Okay, SongSong makes the bombard cannons. This is my point. He's now going to drop a castle further back. He's got lots of resources. He's making lots of pikemen. Doesn't really have the barracks. Definitely a situation where auto farm is hurting a player. A lot of you guys probably have auto farm on all the time. Most of the pros don't do that because they need the wood for stuff. And like right now, that food count isn't really helping SongSong. And his relics are going to hop out on the other side. Vinchester's ready to run through. He might also be saving for Hufnitze, to be honest, so I could be wrong. It is fairly expensive. And that's a big thing with the Bohemians. And yeah, okay, maybe that was a bad call for me. He's going to research that now. Obviously needed the food for it. Light Cav are going to go into raid, which will be distracting. And there goes Vinchester with the relic heist. He says, I'll take him. And now I think what's happening is SongSong is going to see the hand cannons, and he's going to be like, crap, man. That's so bad. And oh no! Look at all the damage they do! Holy! Oh, SongSong, what a wrong move, man. Oh, and I think it comes down to distraction, right? He tried to chase the two separate groups. He probably clicked forward on a Treb or something, and then looked away in that moment and has big problems now. And this series has been all Vinchester. SongSong has just not looked like he's in the same class. Which just shows you how strong the top 10 are, right? SongSong, you know, he squeaked in because he had good tournament results this year. But what I said at the start is he does tend to... I don't know if there's another term for it. But he does tend to underperform when he's up against those big names. Like, he'll play so good, and then he won't do what he's capable of. And a bombard cannon down... I didn't see that get hit. Maybe it's because my right eye's blurry right now due to my contact. I didn't actually see that get hit. Maybe it got hit by the hand cannons or something. SongSong completes the Hufnitze upgrade, but he doesn't have any of them. He's making one now, and he's just got nothing. And SongSong calls the GG. This was the biggest stomp that we've seen so far in T90 Titans League. Vinchester, #1 in his group, or at least, you know, that's what he was ranked getting into it. He beats SongSong, and SongSong's definitely going to have to step it up a little bit. But I think a SongSong's group, let me go off the top. Actually, no, let's not go off the top of my head. Let's actually just pull up that group real quick. And I'll just read it off because I don't want spoilers on Wikipedia. In that group, you have Vinchester, Leary, Caphotch, Backed, Slam, and SongSong. So SongSong, he has to outperform 2 players in the group. So maybe like outperforming Caphotch, Backed, or Slam is going to be the game. Or the game plan. But didn't really look good for him here. Hopefully he'll realize that he had to face Vinchester at some point. Next week, when the next round starts, I'm sure he'll have an easier opponent. And hopefully we'll be able to get some better results there. But, man, Vinchester looked good, man. And maybe, you know, it has to do with the quality of his opponent. But I honestly feel like Vinchester looked better than any player I've seen so far. Like, Viper versus Say My Name? Viper looked good in his 3-0. But Say My Name, I mean, he also played better than SongSong. But, no, Viper had some cracks in the armor there from time to time. So, Vinchester, I'm excited to see more from him. Who does he play next? Vinchester will play, I think he would play Backed next. I believe so. But I will get that information out, obviously. Good first series here to start off the day.